Welcome to Corvette Today, the podcast that talks about everything Corvette, with your host Steve Garrett, MC and DJ at one of the largest Corvette weekends in the country, Corvette Fun Fest, president of the Corvette Club of Kansas City, Missouri, and radio disc jockey at the #1 radio station in Kansas City for over 40 years. Here's Steve Garrett.
Thanks for listening and watching Corvette Today, the show that talks about everything Corvette, and the only current podcast dedicated to Corvette. I'm your host, Steve Garrett. I appreciate you tuning in. Corvette Today is brought to you by Wheelcraft. Want to dress up your Corvette with bright chrome or black chrome wheels? Visit wheelcraft.com and learn about their advanced PVD chrome finishing. They can refinish your wheels or offer a wheel exchange for most models, and it comes with a 5-year warranty. Visit wheelcraft.com today or call 833-840-5334. You can listen to Corvette Today on all podcast platforms. You can also listen on your smart device. Just say, "Hey Google" or "Alexa, play the podcast called Corvette Today," and you're connected. Be sure and visit the updated Corvette Today website. It's CorvetteToday.com. You can also access everything there, including the Corvette Today merchandise store. You can also join the Corvette Today Facebook group there and sign up for Corvette Today emails, notifications, and updates at corvettetoday.ck.page. And if you like YouTube, you can subscribe to the Corvette Today YouTube channel. See all Corvette Today episodes on YouTube. And be sure and patronize our flagship sponsors of Corvette Today, Aerolarri Wheels, a true forged wheel with over 20 different unique styles to choose from for your C8 and wide-body versions of the C7, C6, and C5 Corvettes. It's an amazing value, starting at only $23.88 for a set of 4 fully forged wheels. And use the promo code CT111 and get $100 off your purchase. Visit aerolarri.com, that's AEROLARRI.com, and use the promo code CT111 for your $100 discount. Also, midenginecorvetteforum.com, the forum that focuses on the new mid-engine C8 Corvette. Meet a lot of Corvette enthusiasts like yourself at midenginecorvetteforum.com. And a shout out to Corvette Forum and CanadianCorvetteForum.com, welcoming Corvette enthusiasts from around the world. It's time to bring you the latest Corvette news and headlines with my pal Keith Cornett from CorvetteBlogger.com. As you know, Keith is here twice per month. Every other week, we keep you current and up to date on what's happening with America's sports car. Keith, it's the week between Christmas and New Year's. Happy holidays. How was your Christmas, buddy?
Man, it was great. We are out actually in El Paso, Texas with family. You get away from Florida a little bit. You get a chance to see the rest of the nation. It's been an interesting trip to El Paso, to say the least. But we're family and friends all together, and it's a good time. So hopefully you had the same kind of experience.
I did, buddy. It was a nice, quiet Christmas, and all is good. So happy holidays to you and everybody in your family. Let's start off, as we always do, with Corvette production at the Bowling Green Assembly Plant.
All right. Well, of course, it's the week of Christmas, so the plant's going to be closed this week, starting Monday the 26th through January 2nd. They'll be closed. It opens on January 3rd again. The vehicle counts are running just a little bit behind. You could probably blame that on the holidays and some of the reporting that's happening. But we're pretty certain that when we do start the new year, the VIN count for the regular 2023 Corvette Stingrays will be just around 21,000 or just over. So they are really cranking out the Corvette Stingrays. There's an additional 2,050 when you add the 70th anniversary Stingrays have also been produced. That's 23,000 cars right there for the 2023 model year, just the Stingrays. As for the mighty 2023 Z06, the last count we had was 412 regular cars and 38 70th editions. That's 450 total Z06s or so that have already been built. That's an interesting number because when the first order cycle came out, we estimated, based on the screenshots that were being passed around, that there was somewhere around 495 to 500. So if we've already built 450 of those cars, obviously you can see that we've really run through most of that first order cycle, and those orders have been built. One of the interesting things that we found is we had that second order cycle earlier this month. I think it closed at the very beginning of the month. What we're seeing there is some of these buyers that are in part of that second order cycle are already getting TPWs for like the second week of January. Why that's interesting is because we also have some buyers from that first order cycle that have the Aero package, which is the one that's really highly constrained, but yet they got an order in for an order with an Aero package. Those guys are getting bumped back. We know one guy over on the Mid-Engine Corvette forum, he had his TPW changed from December 5th all the way now to February 27th. And another guy had his December TPW changed to January 30th. It really appears that the Z06 Aero package is so severely backlogged that those with standard cars ordered just 2 weeks ago are already jumping ahead of those in the first order cycles from when their orders were placed in August. When the order cycles do open up, we're expecting the next one for Z06 to open up in February. If there's really no real change that we can see in these, and anybody that's got a Z06 and they're on a bubble, maybe you should take the standard one, because we don't know how many order cycles will actually be left for the end of the year for Z06, whether they will indeed go to every standard one or if the constraints will cause them to maybe skip a month again. We're really paying attention to that, but it's been an interesting production, but yet they're building cars, and that's the most important thing to really keep in mind.
And that was a healthy number. It's good to see that they're at least hitting or getting close to those goals. So it's a good thing for sure.
Yep.
Also, GM is going to offer the E-Ray in both a left-hand drive and a right-hand drive configuration. So it looks like that one's going to be exported, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not really surprising news, considering the Stingrays and the Z06 is on its way to be sold to places like Australia, New Zealand, and the UK and Japan. It's going to happen, I think. This is really a world car. It was designed to be a world car. Why not sell every model you make around the world? We'll be talking a little bit later. There was a Corvette E-Ray right-hand drive prototype that was spied outside the Milford Proving Ground.
Right. Yeah, that was really interesting to see. Also, it looked like Chevy did a Z06 break-in webinar back on December 15th. What was the backstory on that one?
This was really about a 5-minute interview with some people, GM small block engineers Jordan Lee and Dustin Gardner were on Chevy's My Way, which is kind of like a live stream. They use it for different things, like you can take a tour of a car with a Chevy representative, long distance over the internet. But they also do these seminars too. And so this one was really about the Z06 engine break-in, and it wasn't into any news that anything's bad. It's just, here's what they want. For the first 500 miles, the torque is limited. They really want you to take it easy during that first 500 miles. So driving at varying speeds and RPMs. Don't use the cruise control when you pick up your car and you're driving home. Just stay on the throttle and move it around a little bit, change the gears. It really helps get these moving parts all acclimated and settled in. And then at 1,500 miles, they say that's really where it's broken in for the track. But what we're really seeing too is that they don't want to see any redline revving, launch controls. Save all that until 1,500 miles as opposed to the 500 miles. I know many people are really excited to hit that 500 miles. They're saying, okay, we're off to the races. But they really want you, if you're really going to push the limits of the car that early on, go ahead and wait till the 1,500 miles.
Yeah, that's where off to the races is just a figure of speech, isn't it?
Well, Jordan says there's a saying, drive it like you stole it.
Yep.
And he said, that's a terrible idea, especially at the very beginning of its life cycle. This is a high-performance machine. Obviously, these engines are made for high revving, but yet they need to be brought up into it. Just take it easy during those first 1,500 miles. Do some pleasure cruising, get that part out of the way, and then you can go to the track. You can do your burnouts, impress your friends, the cars and coffee, whatever. Just let it all kind of burn in naturally.
There you go. Also, we saw an RPO code of EFY, which is the body color trim on the wishbone, now available for the Z06. That was good. I bet a lot of people will order that.
There goes my theory, though, on spotting the exterior differences between the Z06 and the E-Ray.
Okay.
Because when that E-Ray visualizer leaked, obviously the E-Ray was all in the body color trim.
Yes.
And the Z06s have only been sold in the carbon flash trim. So we thought, hey, this is how they're going to do it. But they just put out an update to the 2023 Corvette order guide, and it shows as of December 19th, they're going to make the EFY body color exterior accents available for the Z06. So if you really don't like that trim on the side, you can go body color and it kind of all blends in. The distribution updates did say that there's some caveats to that, disclaimers. Obviously, you can't order EFY on a black car because it's black, and you can't order on the 70th anniversary editions as well, the white or the black cars there. I think we're still probably a week or two away, probably after the holidays, obviously, until we actually see that available in the build and price configurator. We had checked when the story came out. We didn't see it there yet. And then if the price remains the same as on the Stingray, EFY should cost you around $995 to add to your order.
There you go. Also, our final story in the news section, Keith, it was great to see that the C8 Corvette was named as Car and Driver's 10 Best for the 4th year in a row.
Yeah, this is really big news. And not only that, but they included both the Stingray and the Z06 as the Corvette news. And they do that with a couple other cars. There's a couple Porsches that are added, Toyotas are added that are basically the same cars behind different marks. It's the 24th time that a Corvette has been on the 10 best list. This is going back 40 years now, I think, that they've been doing this list. We've officially passed the BMW 3 Series for second place on the all-time list, and we were only behind the Honda Accord.
Wow.
We know Porsche's right there with us as well. Of course, they had 2 cars that were added. So really good news. I'll tell you a fun story about this. So this news broke, actually, the article came out from Car and Driver on the 19th. We actually had the news the week before, thanks to a social media posting by Harlan Charles. I guess they had their annual Christmas party, and the award for the 10 best was being passed around and a picture was taken. And so the news got out. I had reached out to them and said, hey, wanted to see if we could post the photo. They were told that no, Car and Driver is actually embargoing it. So if you could please not share that photo, that'd be great. So I'm like, wow, this is the first time that a manufacturer is being embargoed by a magazine, because usually it's the other way around.
Exactly.
We actually have the story on our website. You've got to see the pants that Taj is wearing, because I think he's channeling his Dave Hill impersonation a little bit. You know, Dave Hill has been known to wear some wacky slacks now and again. Taj's were very festive for the holidays, you could say.
Very nice. Very nice. Well, buddy, let's take our first break. And when we come back, it's time for Corvette racing and Corvette rumors here on Corvette Today.
We all know that wheels make the car. Wheelcraft will help you take your Corvette to new levels. Wheelcraft offers the world's best PVD chrome finish available on the market. Available in bright chrome and black chrome. Wheelcraft nails it in both appearance and durability, and it comes with a 5-year warranty against brake dust burns, pitting, peeling, and color delamination. Wheelcraft is also ISO certified. Whether you're having your wheels refinished or an exchange transaction, there is no core fee, no deposit, and you don't pay for the finished wheels until they are installed on your car. Wheelcraft insists on complete satisfaction before you pay. Hear from one of our customers.
I picked up a brochure at the National Corvette Museum and we took delivery of our new C8. I called Wheelcraft, and in 15 minutes I ordered the new bright ice chrome wheels. Wheelcraft's follow-up and follow-through is superb. The wheels arrived on Sunday, installed on Monday, and cores were returned same day. The wheels are the highest quality I've ever seen, and they look awesome. Great prices, great customer service from initial contact to installation.
Thanks, Dennis from Nashville. In many cases, Wheelcraft offers finished wheels on exchange or will apply this new finish to your wheels. Either way, Wheelcraft treats your wheels as their own. Visit our website at wheelcraft.com or call us at 833-840-5334. Arrive in style with Wheelcraft.
The Radiator Grill Store offers protection for your C8's front radiators and side intakes. They also carry front strut tower covers to prevent rusting and pooling water, all with do-it-yourself installation. Get 10% off your total purchase with promo code CT10. See the full line of products at radiatorgrillstore.com.
When you want to buy a Corvette, or any Chevrolet for that matter, get yours from Hendrick Chevrolet Shawnee Mission, located in Kansas City. Hendrick Chevrolet is the largest Corvette dealership and showroom in the Midwest. With a knowledgeable sales staff and Corvette sales specialists on hand, they'll help you build the Corvette of your dreams, and they ship nationwide. With Corvette certified master mechanics on site and a huge parts department with over 24,000 parts and $2 million in inventory, Hendrick Chevrolet is well equipped to take care of your every need. From sales to service to collision repair, Hendrick Chevrolet has you covered. Visit ChevyUSA.com or call 913-384-1550.
Stretch the life of your Corvette's paint with Nova Stretch, the performance protective cover. From bugs to rock chips, Nova Stretch covers protect your C5 through C8 Corvette, utilizing stretch fabric technology and an innovative fastening system for quick installation and easy removal and storage. Made in the USA for a tailored fit, the patented design and breathable mesh protects your Corvette without rubbing or chafing the paint like traditional covers. And unlike clear film or old-time car bras, Nova Stretch provides full front-end coverage including the grille, keeping radiators and heat exchangers clean and debris-free. Visit novastretch.com and use the code CORVETTETODAY15 to get 15% off your order. Protect your Corvette with Nova Stretch.
American Hydrocarbon is your one-stop shop for custom interior, exterior, and engine bay items for your C4 through C8 Corvette. We can help you create a custom look for your Corvette with carbon fiber or 10 different color patterns and styles. Whether it's a custom-made engine cover for your new C8 mid-engine Corvette or custom-made C4 interior upgrades, American Hydrocarbon can help you transform your Corvette into a best-in-class show car. And now we're proud to announce that we can produce and distribute officially licensed GM products products for the C8 Corvette. That includes the front splitter, side skirts, engine appearance panels, and engine fluid caps. Plus, we now also carry the C8 Speedline side skirts along with the engine appearance package and high wing. Our products have been featured in Vette and Corvette magazines. Give us a call, 813-476-5638. Visit our updated website at AmericanHydrocarbon.com or email us at pat@AmericanHydrocarbon.com. Let us help you make your Corvette the car you've always wanted it to be. American Hydrocarbon.
And now, back to the only current podcast on Corvettes, Corvette Today, with your host, Steve Garrett.
Hey, thanks for listening and watching Corvette Today, the show that talks about everything Corvette. Brought to you by Wheelcraft. Want to dress up your Corvette with bright chrome or black chrome wheels? Visit wheelcraft.com and learn about their advanced PVD chrome finishing. They can refinish your wheels or offer a wheel exchange for most models, and it comes with a 5-year warranty. Visit wheelcraft.com today or call them at 833-840-5334. I'm your host, Steve Garrett. With me every other week is Keith Cornett from CorvetteBlogger. We keep you current and up to date on what's happening with America's sports car. In this second section, Corvette racing is off for the season, so there's not much news. We have a lot of rumors, though, for you. First, Keith, GM may move the Performance Build Center from Bowling Green back up to Michigan. I was sad to see that might possibly happen.
Yeah, but I think in the end, it might be a good thing. And I'll tell you why is because the Performance Build Center was originally up in Wixom, Michigan. Then what they did was they built out a portion within the Corvette factory, and now it's hosted there. They're obviously building the LT6 for the Z06 and getting ready for the LT7 for the ZR1 that might possibly be coming. But they're also building an LT4 for the ZL1, the Camaro, for the Cadillac CT5V Blackwing, and the Cadillac Escalade. So the rumors are that General Motors might actually take back some of those other brands, the Cadillacs especially, and just might move them back to Michigan so they're closer to their respective assembly centers there. There's some high-end motors that are also coming up, and of course you have EVs coming on as well and how that might affect it. So for us, I would be okay with losing some of that Cadillac stuff if it meant that we're more dedicated for serving Corvettes, because that's always been one of the questions, and they've always said it's no issue. We can build as many motors as people buy the Z06, but by moving out some of those other brands and the older motors that we used to have in the cars and to focus on the new stuff that's Corvette only, I think would make a lot of sense for us. So I don't really see that as a bad thing. Of course, we've also got the Corvette engine build experience might be happening beginning next year sometime. So you'll be bringing in people to build their own engine. That would impact taking away people maybe from building some of the other stuff. So again, I think it's just a reorientation of getting some of those other brands and those motors that we're building here in Bowling Green closer to their factories, and then we just focus on our stuff. I don't really see a bad thing happening if they leave part of it. Now, if they took it all up to Michigan, I don't really see that as a good thing for Corvette just because it separates it. And then the people that want to do the engine build process and then maybe see it installed in their car, that's 2 trips, hundreds of miles away.
Right.
Hopefully the Corvette stuff will stay in Bowling Green and it's dedicated towards Corvette.
We'll keep an eye on that for sure. Also, there's a rumor about a Ford collision alert coming for 2024 cars.
Yes, again, on the 2024 Corvette E-Ray visualizer leak that we saw, there was a new button underneath the Z-Mode button. We were joking, I think, last time when we were talking, we were hoping that would be like a push-to-pass, like on the Indy cars.
Right.
It stores up all that energy in the batteries and you push-to-pass. We're joking about that, of course. It's not a push-to-pass. But the icon on that is also used on other cars within Chevrolet, and that's what it is. It's a forward collision alert that utilizes a front-facing camera and then alerts you when slower traffic is ahead, or if you're traveling faster and it's seeing that you're catching up to that slower traffic. And what it does is it beeps. It beep, 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 you know, if you get too close to it.
Yeah.
Also, you're coming up on it, it might not beep that fast, but there's also visual warnings as well. So you'll see lights up in your HUD display if you're getting too close. This is interesting because this is usually a system that's also used in conjunction with emergency braking systems. We know that this is probably coming at some point as a mandate or a safety feature. And we know that the team has been hesitant to use it because of the design changes. Of course, the Corvette's so low. One of the reasons why they were worried about the adaptive cruise control and the Super Cruise is because the sensors are too low almost to be able to monitor the forward-facing stuff in front of it. We actually have Taj and Harlan and Josh, talking about that at the Bash a couple years back about Super Cruise and adaptive cruise control. But this emergency braking stuff may be coming, but so far we haven't heard that yet as something new for 2024. So we're just kind of waiting to see what might happen there.
That sounds good. Also, we touched on this in the first section, but we saw a right-hand drive E-Ray at the Milford Proving Grounds, and we had a few more details about that, don't we?
Yeah, so this goes to a car that was wrapped in camo. It had the wheel covers on it, so you couldn't see. But when you looked at the car at the front of it, it looked like the E-Ray or the Z06 front fascia. Because it was wrapped, you can really see the detail. So that's why we said right away the E-Ray. The wheels are covered, so maybe it had those starfish-style wheels, those thinner 5-spoke wheels that we saw in the visualizer.
Right.
Those could have been on the car. And then the really interesting part about it, though, is as the car passed, the spy photographer was able to get the rear. There wasn't any rear spoilers on the car, which is kind of surprising because we only saw that Z06 deck spoiler, the base spoiler, on the visualizer photo. So we don't know if this E-Ray will be able to come without any kind of spoiler, if you get the low profile or if you can get something else. I think the thing to take away from this is when you see the E-Ray, we're looking at the exhaust tips. And the reason I say that is because we had another sighting. It was said to be an E-Ray in hypersonic gray. It had all the body color. Trim was all hypersonic gray, but it was wearing Z06 style wheels. It had a Z06 badge on it. It was a convertible, so you couldn't actually see the engine in it. To kind of tell you how this sausage works, we work with a couple different spy photographers. They send us an email. They got the link to the photos, and then they basically write their own article. They write 3, 4, 5, 6 paragraphs about what they saw, the differences. As a writer, I get this in the email. They're telling me it's an E-Ray. They're telling me it doesn't sound like a Z06, and it's got all this detail on it. So we write it up, blah, 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 put it out there, and then we start hearing feedback from different people. And of course, right away, I was reminded of the exhaust tips on that car.
Right.
They're different. The Z06 export tips, which again, the export, they're corner mounted exhaust because they can't fit the particulate filters for the center mounted exhaust. So all the Z06 exported will have these corner mounted exhausts, and their tips are different than what we see on the LT2. Going back, I was looking at the LT2 exhaust. We get that. That's a vendor called Tenneco. We'll say it's a one piece. It's all components bolted together, but it's a one-piece unit, bolts onto the engine. It's got the tips already installed. The more and more I think about it, I've been going and trying to rally some of my troops that I talk to about this stuff. When we see these cars out on the streets, if it's a wide body, but it has the LT2 tips, that would make sense because you're running the LT2 engine. They pull that off the shelf. They put it on there. Why would it have different exhaust tips like the Z06 style exhaust tips for the LT2? And talking like John over at Mid-Engine Corvette Forum, we're thinking that the pipes that those tips actually bolt into are a little bit larger for Z06. We're trying to nail that down. We learn stuff new every day, even by the littlest posts, these photos that come out from the different spy photographers. They're telling us it's an E-Ray, and then we just start to think about it in our own experiences and what we know about the team. And so I went back and I rewrote my post on that hypersonic gray car saying, I'm not so sure that this is an E-Ray now. Now I'm thinking about those tips. This is the fun part. We see, we learn, we want to know more. We don't have any real official photos yet of the E-Ray other than what we saw in the visualizer. So a lot of what we're thinking or seeing might be skewed because of that. And of course, we see what we want to see sometimes. I'm a big fan of the E-Ray. I've been on Mike Furman's list for a while now for that car. It's the X-Files. I want to believe, Steve.
Yeah.
It's a fun process. I kind of wanted to give some background on what we see and why we do things the way we do, why cars are said to be this. Road and Track came out the next day with that whole article, same pictures from the spy photographer. Our spy photographer caught this car outside Milford Proving Ground, and it's an E-Ray. Well, I'm not so sure, but that's the fun part of this process. And again, we just want to try to be as upfront, let people know that we're working our way through it just as they are.
Yes.
It's kind of the fun side of the business, as I say.
Yeah. At the end of the day, that's why it's in this rumor section, right, Keith?
Exactly. There you go. This, I guess I could have just said that.
Yeah. It's all good, buddy. It's all good. Hey, are we going to see a bump up in horsepower coming for the C8 in the future?
We keep hearing these rumors about some updates coming. Of course, we're in our 4th year now with 2023.
Right.
So I think we might actually see some updates. So the reason why we're talking about this story is because GM Authority captured a photo of a C8 Stingray, but it had testing pipes on the exhaust that came out of the car that protruded out about 8 inches to maybe almost 12 inches long. They summarized that they think that you hook up EPA testing equipment to that. We've seen sometimes cars that pull little trailers that might be hooked up to the exhaust because they're they're all doing all this monitoring stuff. They're thinking that maybe we might be seeing some initial testing that's done. Of course, it could be smog. It could be fuel economy related. Just don't know yet. But the fact is that they're working on something that requires those testing pipes. It means that something's going on. And yeah, maybe we might see a bump in horsepower. Let me ask you this, Steve. What number would you like to see?
I think 525 to 550 horsepower would be nice.
Yeah, that's probably a little high. But some of the people I've talked to said right away, 505 sounds like a really good number. 505, 510, 515, 4 years outside of when they built the LT2 initially. There may have been some changes, some updates, or some things they've learned where they could eke out another 10, 15, 20 horsepower out of that car with some changes. So we're just going to have to sit back and wait. I said in my post, the fact that these guys were at McDonald's, we've been doing this so long that every time we see a prototype car or a testing car at McDonald's means that they're celebrating somehow. So they might have cracked the case and they've got it and they're all set now and they're out enjoying their Big Macs.
That's a great ideology. That's pretty cool. Also, Keith, our final rumor, we saw the C8R and the GT3R testing at Sebring. Man, those cars are awesome.
Yeah, they're doing a really interesting test. Corvette Racing was obviously there with the IMSA C8R, and then they had that GT3R Z06 there. And it's only the second time we've seen it. They showed a teaser video back in October of the car up at the Milford Proving Ground. But now we've got it at Sebring, and we had independent people there that were able to film it. We had a great guy, Charlie from the Poconos. Shout out to him. He sent me a bunch of videos. He was there all day, really enjoying the cars. There's a hotel there right at the track, and that's where he was at. He was staying at the hotel.
Wow.
And there's all these cars running around. So he also got a video of the NASCAR, the Garage 56 Hendrick Motorsports car that's actually going to be competing at Le Mans as well as like an exhibition car. Cool to see that. But that Z06R sounds really good. They sound identical, and they should because they share the same engine.
Yeah.
But it's really interesting to see that car on the track as they're working to dial it in. Maybe we might see it up at the Rolex 24 doing some testing stuff again. And then, of course, later on in the year, maybe by the end of the year, they might be starting to deliver customer cars to teams for racing in 2024, which is when we're expected to see it.
Very cool. Well, buddy, let's take our final break. When we come back, it's the lighter side of Corvette here on Corvette Today.
Are you ready for a better insurance policy without the Corvette tax? With Agreed Value Protection, the value of your collector vehicle will never change. Plus, you'll save money. Get a quick quote at ncminsurance.com.
Hey, honey, are you awake?
I am now.
I can't sleep. Since turning 50, I keep dreaming of a red door and a blue door, somehow knowing there are only choices for retirement.
Okay.
Through the red door, we outlive our money. We have to rely on our kids. We're stuck on a fixed income. It's terrifying.
Yeah, that would suck.
But through the blue door, our money outlives us. We retire on our terms. Our kids stay our kids, not our caretakers. We make work optional.
Yes, that's much better. That's what I want too. But what do we do?
We call True Wealth & Company at 913-653-8783. They specialize in helping successful people make work optional. They're our fiduciary Blue Door personal wealth managers.
Hey, where are you going? It's 3 a.m.
I can't sleep. I'm going to check out True Wealth & Company online at retirewithtrue.com. That Blue Door is going to be our retirement.
913-653-8783. Visit us online at retirewithtrue.com. Investment advice offered through True Wealth & Company, LLC, a registered investment advisor in the state of Kansas.
VetFinders.com is the Internet's original Corvette classified ads website, with classified ads starting at just $25. And every ad runs until your Corvette is sold. If you're in the market for a Corvette, VetFinders.com has over 500 Corvettes for sale from all around the USA and Canada and covering all 8 generations. Visit VetFinders.com, the Internet's destination for buying and selling Corvettes. That's VETTE Finders.com.
Check out the first Corvette-only auction website at 427stingray.com/Corvette Today. You can sign up to bid and comment on more than 40 Corvettes every week. That's 427stingray.com/Corvette Today. Join the community.
You're listening and watching Corvette Today with Steve Garrett.
Hey, thanks once again for listening and watching Corvette Today, the show that talks about everything Corvette. Brought to you by Wheelcraft. Want to dress up your Corvette with bright chrome or black chrome wheels? Visit wheelcraft.com and learn about their advanced PVD chrome finishing. They can refinish your wheels or offer a wheel exchange for most models, and it comes with a 5-year warranty. Visit wheelcraft.com or call them 833 840-5334. I'm your host, Steve Garrett. With me every other week is Keith Cornett from CorvetteBlogger.com. Don't forget, if you want a deeper dive into any of these stories Keith and I talk about, you can always get that at CorvetteBlogger.com. In this final section, we talk about the lighter side of Corvette. Keith, a writer for Edmunds, wrote and he praised the C8 Corvette and said this was the best car he drove in 2022. I was glad to see that.
Yeah, these are fun stories for us because it's just validation of everything that we love about the car.
Yeah.
And this rider's name, Cameron Rogers. Edmunds has a long-term test car, and so they go out there and they can get it. They can take it on trips. They can drive it back and forth to work and stuff. He says it's the vehicle that he keeps coming back to time and again. He's 6'4". He says he fits in the car fine.
Wow.
He says he loves the cabin, the rich materials, everything about the car. It rides great, even on rough pavement. He calls it the perfect all-arounder. I think that's a great way to describe the Stingray these days. You can take it out to the track, have fun with it, but it's also a great grocery getter or just a night out on the town. Really neat review. Good to see, again, just validation that we did pick the right car.
Absolutely right. Also, we saw Emelia Hartford. She got her Z06 and immediately started digging into the car. First, she straight piped the exhaust. Then, she put twin turbos on the car. Yes, it was the first twin turbo Z06, but Emelia, the car is great, plain stock.
Yeah, I don't think GM was pretty happy with Emelia Hartford and going to work right away on the car. And she said she wasn't going to do that. She said she wanted to play with it as it was, as a stock. Right. But I think being first as a YouTuber obviously brings in the page views and the clicks and gets them paid. I was real surprised. You find the one video she straight piped, okay, like Street Speed 717, he straight piped his car.
Right.
It is a really impressive sound. Straight pipes are the trumpets of God, I guess you could say. It was really loud and you can just tell that. But then the next day or the day after that, to come back and say, well, we put the twin turbo on there. And actually what she did was she took the system off of her Stingray. For the most part, the bottom part of that fitted right up under the Z06. Same mounting points a lot of the places. What they actually had to change was the charging pipes because the LT6 has dual intakes. So they had to come up with a system for two of them as opposed to just the one. So there was a little bit of fabricating, but that's how she was able to do it so fast. And of course, when that car was started, wow, that turbo whine that you hear, it was pretty impressive as well. I guess the next video that we'll see from her will actually be her driving the car. And I don't think that's a permanent system. She said that she was looking to maybe build a system for it, and this allows her to test all this stuff. But my guess is that at some point the car's going to be returned to stock before she does anything really major with it. That's just a guess, I'm guessing, but we'll see.
Yeah, it was interesting, that's for sure.
It was loud. It was very loud.
It was very loud. Also, a little bit of love for the C5 people. HAGERTY names the C5 Z06 to its 2023 bull market list. Good for them.
Yeah, now the bull market list is where HAGERTY thinks that older cars are really going to start to appreciate, or people are going to start snapping them up again. They're able to do all this. Of course, they have HAGERTY's insurance, so they're able to look at insurance data. People buy cars, they list what they paid for it and stuff, and so they're able to see that. They're actually showing a #1 Concourse Edition C5 Z06. They're up almost 30% year to date. They might be valued somewhere around $49,300 for a #1 condition. Excellent condition #2 cars are up 15% at $34,000. Even #3 condition cars, these are drivers, you can find those for $25,000 or so. The final ones, though, the ones that are really kind of ridden hard, maybe they've had a lot of mods and they're looking a little sad, they can be currently had at $14,000. So you see that range there. People can get into these cars pretty cheap if they don't mind a car with a lot of miles or some mods or some other things. But these top cars are really starting to move again. I just remember a few years back, the 2004 commemorative editions. Those are the blue cars. The Z06 have the graphics on them.
Right.
Those were like $35,000. So the fact that they've jumped up to nearly $15,000, up all the way up to $50,000 says a lot about those and where they're going. So time to go shopping if you like the C5 Z06.
Absolutely right. And finally, going back to some YouTube stuff, we finally found out what happened to Stradman's Z06.
So we know the story. He lives in Utah. He was in Chicago with the car, had the car shipped back to Utah. He opens his video saying, you're not going to believe this, but if you look at the floor in his garage, it was just covered in transmission fluid. We had a couple of videos figuring that out. He just put out a new video showing that he had the car back in the garage, and it was something as simple as just replacing the gasket on the transmission pan. So it was all covered under warranty. They were able to ascertain that was the issue pretty quickly. That relieves a lot of stress, I know, for people that are buying the Z06. They don't want to hear about problems with the car. And of course, Chevy does doesn't want to hear about problems with the car? So the fact that a transmission pan gasket replaced, covered under warranty, is probably the best news all around for that story.
Absolutely right. Also, this is a story that I saw firsthand. A brand new torch red Z06, Z07 was spotted at Spring Mountain. I was there the week of December 15th. I saw this with my own two eyes.
Yes, we have a Secret Santa that was out there. Sent us some photos of this wrapped torch red car. First time we've seen it in the Ron Fellows livery with the Performance Driving School stickers on it. This blog post that we got also went along with Mike Furman had sent us a video that he got from somebody that actually showed the car out on the track. In a couple places you couldn't see it, but you could really hear it. Really exciting stuff. I know that there's something else going on with that car. I think that Spring Mountain was going to shoot a commercial with it, or parts of that video were going to be used in a promotional video somewhere. I know something's coming up with that, so keep an eye out for that. We reached out to them, said, hey, when's the Z06 course is going to start? They're saying early second quarter, March or April is what we're hearing. So if you got a car, you want to make sure that you do take advantage of that discount. It's really one of the most fun things you can do inside the Corvettes.
Absolutely right. And if you have a Z06 or you have your VIN, call Spring Mountain now and book immediately, even for second and third quarter. Do it early because it fills up fast.
The Z06 courses, those are pretty serious buyers, so they're really going to be taking advantage of it. Make your plans when it's good for you, and then you have some choices.
Our feel-good story of the week, Keith, a Z06 purchaser actually met their engine builder. That was a really cool story.
Yeah, this is probably my favorite story the last couple of weeks. This was a guy over on the Mid-Engine Corvette forum, his username SS0041, which I'm sure stands for something. But he took a museum delivery of a Red Mist 2023 Corvette Z06, VIN number 136. It was a great-looking car, gloss black spider aluminum wheels, carbon ceramic brakes, visible carbon fiber splitters and rockers. I mean, just beautiful. So while he's there, he actually asked Shane Webb, the R8C manager, hey, is there any chance that I could meet the builder of the car, Crystal Strickland, whose name obviously is on the car? Shane reached out and Crystal was able to stop by and talk to the new owners, and they were really blown away. They got to meet this. So they actually have nicknamed their car Crystal. They asked her to sign it. So not only does she have her engine badge on the LT6, but she signed the rear deck inside the engine bay as well with the silver pen. Really neat stuff. These engine builders, we haven't been in the plant. They don't hear from us enough. We appreciate what they're doing. That's a really personal connection to meet the person that built your engine that's in your car now. So kudos for Shane and Crystal for coming over and meeting the owner. And the only scary thing is everybody going to do this? Because these people might get really busy then, if they're always coming over and having to sign cars and stuff. But it just goes to show you that Corvette owners, they see these people as rock stars and they're very much appreciated. Congratulations again, Crystal. There's a car out there named after you, and just keep building those engines and you'll be making those dreams happy.
That's awesome. That's a cool story indeed. Well, buddy, thanks for being back on Corvette Today. Happy holidays, and I will see you in 2023.
Yeah, Happy New Year's to everybody out there, Corvette Nation. Got good things coming this year. We got great cars, we got great people, and of course, a whole new slate of events to start the year off with. Come back to CorvetteBlogger, keep listening to the Corvette Today podcast, and we'll keep you updated, informed, and entertained.
Thanks for listening to Corvette Today, and please be sure to tell your family, friends, and other Corvette enthusiasts about the Corvette Today podcast. And thanks to our sponsors, Wheelcraft. Want to dress up your Corvette with bright chrome or black chrome wheels? Visit wheelcraft.com to learn about their advanced PVD chrome finishing. They can refinish your wheels or offer a wheel exchange for most models, and it comes with a 5-year warranty. Visit wheelcraft.com today or call 833-840-5334. American Hydrocarbon at AmericanHydrocarbon.com. True Wealth & Company at RetireWithTrue.com. Also, Aerolari Wheels. Get $100 off your purchase with the new promo code CT111 at Aerolari.com. Mid-America Motorworks at MAMotorworks.com. And Hendrick Chevrolet in Kansas City at ChevyUSA.com.
You've been listening to Corvette Today with Steve Garrett. If you'd like to contact Steve with any thoughts on the podcast or ideas for guests on Corvette Today, you can email him at stevegarrettdj@gmail.com. That's stevegarrettdj@gmail.com. Garrett has 2 R's and 2 T's. Or connect with Steve on social media on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram using @SteveGarrettDJ. Thanks again for listening to Corvette Today.